I want you guys to ask 10 Mortal Kombat fans what the greatest game in the franchise is, and the chances are one answer will come up more than any other game, and that's Mortal Kombat Deception. And that's amazing because when Deception first released, people loved it. I don't think anyone expected that 20 years later that fans would still be comparing every new Mortal Kombat game to Mortal Kombat Deception. Every time a new game launches, everyone says, okay, is Conquest in it? Is the old Crypt in it? Is Puzzle Combat? Is Chess Combat in it? And these are all Mortal Kombat Deception's game modes. Very few games leave that kind of legacy. So today I want to look back at Mortal Kombat Deception and why so many fans consider it the greatest Mortal Kombat game ever made, and why even after 2 decades it still feels unmatched. But if you guys don't know me by now, I'm Mr. Frosty Flames, but you can call me Mike. We do anything gaming, news, reviews, playthroughs, etc., and we do it in a chill way with no over editing BS. So if you enjoy that style of content, be sure to hit that sub button and join the Mr. Frosty Flames Legion. We're closing in on 2,500 subs, so I'd really appreciate it if you help me in that journey and just subscribe to join the Legion. Anyways, let's get back to the video. So the first point that I want to make is it built on everything Deadly Alliance started, and to connect it to my last video, one reason Deception became so legendary is because it didn't start from scratch. Deadly Alliance had already reinvented Mortal Kombat by transitioning into the 3D era and involving these like wacky game modes and such. Instead of changing direction again, Midway doubled down. They took everything that worked from the new formula in Deadly Alliance and they expanded it. You know, things like the Crypt, it became bigger, the roster was improved, the presentation improved, the world became larger, even the dark atmosphere was improved. Deception wasn't trying to fix Mortal Kombat, it was trying to perfect the new formula, and for many fans, this game was incredibly close to perfect, and that's something NRS could learn from nowadays, because it seems like with every game, they change up the formula. Like they go from MKX, fast-paced, aggressive combat, to MK11, which is a slow, methodical, more defensive play, and then they go to MK1, which is like an assist fighter. I mean, they should just take what works and just build on it. Keep on building on it, and then you'll have a perfect MK game, but they just keep on switching it up. I think that's why Deception and Armageddon are kind of good games, more so Deception, because it built on what Deadly Alliance did well. And Deadly Alliance had amazing game modes too, like the Conquest mode, because if there's one feature people immediately associate with Deception, including me, it's my favorite game mode, it's Conquest mode. And to be honest, nothing else in the franchise, in my opinion, matched it. It wasn't just a tutorial, it was an adventure. You traveled across multiple realms, you know, Earth Realm, Nether Realm, Chaos Realm, Order Realm, Edenia. You met characters before they became legends, and you learned the history of Mortal Kombat, and you learned the lore, its universe, the backstories of certain characters, what they were doing. You discovered secrets, there were hidden coins, hidden chests. You unlocked rewards. Every realm felt different. They weren't just names on the lore board anymore, like bios or something. They weren't just stuff you read, you actually explored them, and that's what made Mortal Kombat feel alive. Instead of reading about the world, you experienced it, and that's exactly why fans still ask for Conquest today. I guess you could say that Invasions was somewhat close to Conquest mode, but I don't think so. It was more like a tabletop RPG. I want like a full-blown, full-fledged Conquest mode, open world RPG where you could explore, do side quests, etc. And I feel like it could really, you know, expand the Mortal Kombat lore. And that's one thing I always say, Mortal Kombat's lore is so expansive when it comes to a fighting game. I mean, you got, you know, demons, monsters, you got Onis, you got nether realms, different realms, gods, ninjas. It's so expansive. Like, you would need an open world game to fully explore everything, and if they made Conquest mode again in Mortal Kombat 13 or whatever they're calling the next game, it would be amazing, as long as Ed Boon and NRS do it right and keep it, say, like single player, no microtransactions or whatever. And one thing I don't think Deception gets enough credit for is its atmosphere. The game had personality, every realm felt unique, NPCs had conversations with you, even though if it was basic, it was still good for the time. Music matched the environment perfectly, and there were secrets hidden everywhere. I remember watching, you might remember him, an old Mortal Kombat YouTuber, Mr. G-Star321, he was legendary. I was watching his Conquest mode playthrough and he was showing me all the secrets, and it was very fun to just just watch along with him and just unlock all the characters, unlock all the alternate costumes from Conquest mode. It was fun. You wanted to keep exploring. The game encouraged curiosity. Modern Mortal Kombat games are visually stunning, but sometimes they could feel like a series of menus connected by cutscenes. Deception felt like an actual world, and that's a huge reason people still remember it so fondly. It wasn't afraid to be weird too, and this might be my favorite thing about Deception. You know, it had puzzle combat. It embraced being weird. It had puzzle, chess combat. It had hidden Easter eggs, ridiculous unlockables, completely optional modes that had nothing to do with competitive play. Did every mode need to exist? Probably not, but that's exactly what made the game special. Midway wasn't asking, okay, will this be an esport? Are they going to be competitive? They were just asking a simpler question. Will this be fun? And that mindset gave Deception an identity that still feels unique today. That's something like Soul Calibur, you know, they're just adding crazy game modes to make it fun, and I feel like that's something a lot of fighting games lost because they just try to be overly meta, overly competitive, and it just kind of sucks for the casual player. And speaking of the casual player, you would play through all these game modes and you were like, okay, what am I unlocking? The rewards, are they good? Yes. Another reason Deception has aged so well is because it constantly rewarded you. You play matches, you earned coins. You explored Conquest, you unlocked costumes and characters. You open the crypt, you get new skins, you get artwork, videos, fatalities, concept art, secrets, everything. There was always something waiting for you. The game made progression exciting. Nothing felt locked behind a purchase because everything felt earned. And that's something many players miss today, especially that they just straight up took out the crypt in the modern Mortal Kombat after evolving it to its highest peak in Mortal Kombat 11. That's still a shame that they did that. They should have expanded it. I don't know why they did that in MK1. It sucks. So going to my main video's point, why do many fans call Deception the greatest Mortal Kombat game ever made? I don't think it's best because of the gameplay. Some people prefer MK9, I prefer MKX. I think it's because Deception offered the complete package. That's something rare with Mortal Kombat nowadays. A strong roster. Yeah, there were some hiccup characters like, you know, Dairu, Cobra, Kira. I personally don't mind them, but a lot of people were just like, at the time, oh man, those guys suck. But I think that the roster is strong when you look back at it nowadays. It had a memorable story, it had unforgettable atmosphere, it had an incredible adventure mode, it had mini games, unlockable secrets, replay value. It wasn't just a fighting game. It felt like an entire Mortal Kombat universe packed into one disc. Very few fighting games inside or outside the fighting genre have accomplished that. And looking back, what's its legacy today? I think Deception's greatest legacy is in Conquest. It isn't puzzle combat or chess combat. It's expectation. Every Mortal Kombat game since then has been compared to Deception. Whenever fans ask for more content, they're thinking about Deception. Whenever people ask for exploration, they're thinking about Deception. And whenever people ask for unlockables, they're thinking about the same thing, Deception. That's incredibly rare. Most games eventually fade into nostalgia. Deception became the standard. 20 years later, fans still measure new Mortal Kombat games against it. And that's how you know a game has left a lasting impact. So obviously, you guys know, no game is perfect. Mortal Kombat Deception certainly isn't. Its gameplay has aged and some mechanics feel clunky today, but greatness isn't always about perfection. Sometimes it's about influence. It's about the memories you create. It's about the expectations you leave behind and the conversation fans are still having decades later. That's why Mortal Kombat Deception still matters, because it didn't just become one of the greatest Mortal Kombat games ever made. It became the game every future Mortal Kombat would be compared against. And honestly, few games could say that. Now I want to hear from you guys though. Do you guys think Mortal Kombat Deception is the greatest Mortal Kombat game ever made? I know it's kind of like a tie between that and MK9 and MKX, or does another game deserve that title? Let me know in the comments down below. But that's going to be it for today's video, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to join the Mr. Frosty Flames Legion. Thank you guys for watching. Mr. Frosty Flames out. Yeah.